Hey y'all, we are back. We are back. We are back. It is another episode of Tea Time, Black Love Elevated. I'm here with my girl.
Hello, I'm Ash, y'all.
Y'all right now, I'm Eb. Tonight we getting into it. Yes, we are back, ma'am. We getting into the relationships. We talking about real life experiences and really the truth, the growth, and the uncomfortable conversations that actually build real relationships. So, Ash, won't you tell them what Black Love Elevated is all about?
Of course. So, thank you guys for rejoining us again. If you're watching it again, don't forget to follow us on all the social medias. But just to kind of give y'all a quick snippet, Black Love Elevated is basically a group that we put together to help bring Black couples who are in serious relationships, married, or just looking to know what it's like to be in a marriage or serious relationship, get some advice from us. So we do a podcast, which is the Tea Time podcast, and then we also have our group, which is Black Love Elevated, where we do different events together. We come out, we show love, we socialize, and we're building bonds as we are growing in our marriages and relationships. So that's pretty
Yes.
much what Black Love Elevated is, y'all.
Yes. So, girl, it has been a week. We took off a week. You celebrated an anniversary. What we got going on?
Yes, yes, we celebrated. Me and Mr. Simpson celebrated our 14-year anniversary. Happy anniversary, honey, whenever you decide to watch this. But it was amazing. We had a good time. We went out. We actually did something a little bit different this time.
Huh?
He went ahead and kind of chose a day, and I chose a day. And
Okay.
we decided what we were going to do for the day. You had no input to what happened, what didn't happen. You
Mm.
just enjoyed the ride, and I enjoyed every moment of it.
Well, congratulations on your anniversary. It is a milestone, it is an accomplishment. But it kind of takes me into Ash, what I wanted to talk about today. You said one day you chose something, he chose something. It sounded like you guys compromised on some things, right?
Mhm. Very difficult. Yeah,
Very
but that's
difficult.
exact
So,
but that's what happened. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I think that's what we need to talk about. So, tonight, I think the title of what we're talking about is simply compromise, right? So, can we start with really giving a definition as to what compromise is? Because we could go in many kind of avenues with this.
Yes. So I think we were talking about it on different occasions on like what does compromise look like, right? And one of the
Hmm.
definitions that I pulled was basically just in general, a compromise is an agreement between two or more people or a group who have different opinions, goals, or interests, where each side gives up something to reach a peaceful solution that
Hmm.
everyone can accept. It's like a middle ground between two extremes, so no one gets everything they want, but everyone gets something fair. That's the
Hmm.
definition that we found.
Okay. I mean,
Mhm.
I think that's pretty cut and dry, right? Somebody
Yeah,
doesn't get everything, but everybody leaves with a little something, right?
exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. I mean, and
Now.
the good thing is, and I think that as we were kind of thinking about the compromise in the word, there's just so many
Mhm.
different levels to it, right? Like you can compromise in your friendships, you can compromise, in your marriages and relationships. It's even in workspaces. So we do it all the time when it comes to compromise. I think that the big discussion for us tonight is like, what does it look like in totality in our relationships? So let's get, let's talk a little bit about it, right? I think for me, in general, and I really want to hear your perspective, marriage is all about compromise. And with that, it does actually mean that I sometimes don't get what I want. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with that because my husband has shown me he's actually, I think, a pretty big compromiser. And when it gets to me, I'll tell you on why I believe that he compromised maybe a little bit more than I do.
Mm.
But I think that it's one of the driving factors in a marriage and in a foundational piece to your relationship. But for you, Eb, what do you feel like compromise means to you, and how do you think people can apply the word compromise or apply it into their relationships?
Well, I mean, compromise for me, Ash, means that we can kind of agree to honor someone else's feelings or wants. It doesn't necessarily have to be what I want to do, but it may be what you want to do. And we can tap into that by allowing me to have a little bit of what I want to do. So I want to kind of jump into some examples like, how do you compromise within certain situations? Like you said, this is about relationships, right? So what's a situation where we really had to compromise? Um, that's one that I want to kind of think about. What was the scenario? What happened
Girl,
that made you have to kind of have this conversation to say, look, well, I may not want to do this. I want to do this. So how do we come in the middle with that? Because it's really that middle ground, right?
yeah, and for me, I think that, like I said, what I was alluding to is that I feel like my husband does compromise a little bit more than I do,
Mm-hmm.
but we're moving towards more of a level ground because I'm understanding the word and what it means and what it feels, what it actually means in totality, which is what we just said, finding that middle ground, and it may mean that I may not be as happy at the end. So that's something that took me a long time to understand. But I would say one of the ways that he is compromised, like for us, I have had multiple siblings who have lived with me. That's very
Mm-hmm.
tough to have someone to enter your household, especially your space, when you
Mm-hmm.
are developing your marriage and your relationship. And it kind of puts you in a rough spot sometimes to tell your partner no, especially if it's someone that's needing that support and just needing you to be their backbone for the moment. So I feel like in that way, that was huge for him. He had to compromise. He was like, look, you know what? I'm going to do A, B, C, and D, and we'll make it work. I don't think that he necessarily wanted to do it because, again, you're bringing people into your space. But because it was my relationship, my siblings, different things of that nature, he compromised with me and was like, hey, this is what we're going to do. Hell, he still does it to this day, I think. So, what about you? What do you feel like has been a big compromise for you within your relationships or even on the side of your husband?
Yeah, well, before I jump into me, I want to kind of talk about what you said.
Mhm.
Because I'm thinking about this, and we said we're gonna keep it real. You said, when it came to the family and bringing them in. Now I thought we just defined compromise, meaning someone gets a little bit of something for that middle ground. I don't know if, and this is just me speaking out.
Mhm.
Sometimes we mistake compromise for a sacrifice.
Mm.
Was it a compromise? Because what did he get? Okay, so you got that. Yes, we needed to help the family. He did that. We brought the family in. But what did he get? What was his compromise? Giving up his space in his home? I'm just
Mhm.
trying to get the clarity.
I think for me, on the compromise side, at peace, he knew that his wife was at peace, right?
Hmm.
And I think that's something that we don't big up with men a lot of times when we calculate what does peace look like. And I
Hmm.
think that portion of him saying, hey, you know what, this is going to bring my wife some closure, some peace, just to know that her siblings are in a safe space. And if that's going to make my wife feel safe, that makes me feel safe as well. So I feel like for him, that
Mm.
was that middle ground that was met. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, again,
Absolutely.
it goes back to what we said though. With compromise, it may be a situation that is not 100% you feeling like you're getting something out of the situation, you know?
No, I agree. I agree. And that's strong because his compromise was his worry for his wife, the love that he has for his wife. He don't want you to have to worry. Okay, so if I have to give up a little bit of space and personal time within my home to not only make sure that my wife's mental is good, but also take care of the family at the same time, it sounds like a win-win.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Yeah.
so my question for you, do you feel like you have had moments where you've had to compromise and you felt uncomfortable or you felt like, this just ain't something that I really want to do, but I'm gonna just do it because this is us.
Yeah. I definitely got a strong one because I think compromise even comes within the family, not always
Mm.
just in the marriage. The marriage ties everything together. But for me, promotions, a lot of women feel like they compromise within having to hold down the family. So we turn down promotions, things that we may have wanted to do within work for the better good of the family. For instance, my son was incarcerated and I didn't want to leave the state. I got offered an opportunity to, get a different position, a better position within my job, but I had to relocate. The compromise for me was, you know, and even from my husband, because obviously he was on the grounds with me. Okay, this is a betterment for our family. He was willing to take that sacrifice and compromise with me as well, as far as his job was concerned, as far as the relocation. But I decided not to make sure that the kids was good. I kind of saw that through. So I kind of gave up a little bit of something that I wanted to for the end goal.
Mm. Well, I mean, I think that that's a huge compromise. And do you feel like when it comes to the marriage side and relationship side versus your husband, do you feel like it's a big pull between the both? Sometimes for me, I feel like it's a push and a pull sometimes. Especially since I'm like that is one of my touchy points is my siblings and different things. So sometimes I feel like I can go a little bit overboard when it comes to that. And he does make some major sacrifices that he may not want to. So I'm trying to learn that space of, hey, yes, these are your siblings, but in the end, this is literally still your marriage. What is it that he wants as well? Because you can't continue forever. You can't save everybody every time. So I'm just kind of figuring out like how you land with that in your relationship, especially if you're talking about siblings or parents or, different things of that nature, especially in your marriage.
I think when it comes to something like that, it's truly about the communication, setting those boundaries and being crystal clear from the absolute beginning so that we don't disrupt the marriage, the
Mhm.
foundation, because we're trying to open our hearts to situations, because I've heard and seen that happen so many times before, Ash. So once it's almost like that contract. We got a contract. Like, hold on, no
Mhm.
breach of contract. We discussed this. Now hold on. So if we said 3 months, we're gonna put a game plan in place, and then now it's a year. We can revisit this for another conversation. So I think it's all about communication, setting boundaries, and not losing yourself within helping someone else, even within your marriage.
Mm. Yeah, for sure, for sure. What other ways do you feel like outside of just like helping other people, what other ways do you feel like you have had to compromise within your relationship?
I think on date nights, I think I compromise a lot, like on date night. Okay, so my husband, I wanna right now, I've been into the boots on the ground. I've been into,
Okay.
going outside dancing and things like that. And my husband is not really into that. He like, I don't want to do that. I want to go shoot some pool. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But it was this event that was happening this night. So what we gonna do? Who gonna be uncomfortable? We still want to be together. I'm gonna tell you, the compromise lately has been okay, babe. Well, you come with me to this on this day,
Mhm.
on Friday, and on Saturday we're gonna go do that. Whether I want to do it or not, we work in between, and we both getting a little bit of something of what we want. He may have to bend on what day he want to do it, because if I have an event on this day, so he may be compromising a little bit more, Ash. But we still got to come in the middle. So I think date night we compromise on what we want to go and what we want to do. So I thought that was great what you said with your anniversary. Like, yeah, you picked one day, you got control over that, and he picked one day and he had control over that. You had no say whether you wanted to do that or not. This was the play, this was the plan, this is the time, this is the dress code. Show up.
Yeah, and I feel like in relationships when you both have strong personalities, if I can give y'all a tip, that actually works better. I'm telling you, when you have a time where you're like, "Hey, this works for us on this day. This is your day,
Mhm.
and this is my day to choose." It I will tell you, me and my husband, we go back and forth all the time about what we gonna do, how we gonna do it, because both of us have very strong personalities. So I feel like with us not being like, I'd be happy to just shut up and take whatever. Like I can't say nothing. I just gotta sit back and
Mhm.
ride. It made things a lot easier. It just made things a lot easier. So I think that you are totally right. Compromising on dates, that's a huge one. And it does make a huge difference in your relationship. I would recommend if you have not tried that, you probably
Mhm.
should.
Yeah.
Any man, woman, whatever, you should definitely try it in your relationship for sure.
No, and you want to know what else it takes away? It takes away all the bullshit. You know how you in a relationship, it's like, all right, well, where we gonna go? Well, wherever you want to go. What you mean, wherever
Girl.
I want to go? Where do you want to go? And then you never get the input, and then y'all wind up going somewhere, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
you get the back talk like, oh, we picked this spot. Well, like you didn't say anything. So I love that. Nah, this is your day. You don't get to
Mm-hmm.
include me in nothing. You pick this day, you pick this date, and you put it all together. You know,
Yeah.
I love
Yep.
that.
But you know what? And also to that point, since we're talking about compromise, just kind of giving advice, I think another good thing that we did is that we kind of remembered what, I remembered him in the situation, right? So even though it was our anniversary and it was my time to choose whatever, but I was really going for how can I make him happy? You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
what has he told me that he enjoyed and he wanted to do and wanted to experience, or he wanted to experience again? How can I formulate the day to match that? And I think the key to that is actually listening to your spouse and hearing. Like I will give you an example. For me, I was like, oh, I want to go to the drive-in. And every time we would go past the drive-in, or like the drive-through
Yeah.
or whatever, drive-in, excuse me.
Hmm.
I would say, I want to go to the drive-in. I want to go. And we never went. We just go past it. I'm like, dang, I want to go. I ain't been in years. And that's one of the things that he actually chose. I hadn't thought about it in such a long time, right? Like it was so cute. So he was like, "Oh," he kept saying to me, "Oh, you're not gonna like it." I was like, "No, I wanted to go here because you heard what I
Yes.
said." And he actually applied it. So it makes a difference when you listen to
Mm.
those little small little jewels that are dropped around. You know what I mean? And it made me feel cared for too. I will tell you. We had such a good time. That was just like one, but he was like, I don't know. And I'm here to tell y'all, they do want it. Even if it's something small, it just shows that you are listening, you heard what they said. So, that's my perspective.
No, I agree. Now I got to spin it on you. We
Mm-mm.
talking about compromise. I want to throw one at you. What about compromising within finances? Let me give you a scenario. A scenario. So one spouse loves spending, the
Mhm.
other loves saving. Where's the compromise? How does that work? How does that look? How does that
Girl, I'm still
sound?
working on myself, baby. I'm still working on it. Okay. All right. So it's hard. I think financial is super important. I'm glad you
Mm,
brought that up because you have. I'm not perfect at all, and I am still working on that because I'm an Amazon girly, Fashion
mm,
Nova girly. I'm going shopping. Do you hear me? I'm going to do what I need to
mhm.
do. And I think for him, he's a little bit more reserved and a little bit of a better saver than I am. You know what I mean? He's like, let's put this aside, let's do that. But I think the way that it works really, really well is listening to the spouse that leads that charge in that particular area. And
Mhm.
because I know that he's stronger in me in that area, I'm kind of down for whatever. I mean, I don't really know about like certain things such as like Amazon because for me, it's really household stuff, right? I'm not just buying any old thing on there.
Mhm.
But when it comes to small and other things like shopping for clothes or whatever the case may be, I'm okay with bringing that down a bit. And that's something that he's told me like, hey, yo, you going kind of crazy. You done had about 4, 5 different shipments from Fashion Nova around here. You need to but I'm like, "Oh, no," but I have learned that because that's his strength, and it is bothering him that I had to calm it down. You know what I'm saying? So I stopped. I did. I have stopped. And if you are looking, Mr. Simpson, you have not seen a Fashion Nova bag in a while, right?
Well, I'm just saying because that's situations that's happening out here, Ash, right? When we're talking
Mhm,
about the finances. Now, you gave me your situation, but if we had to talk to the audience, right? We're talking about Black Love Elevated. What will be something that they can do? Like we're talking about assisting these marriages in
mhm.
order to fit into that scenario. You love the shop, he wants to save money. What is the thing that you can recommend that you do?
That for me, I think it's finding that middle ground of spending. And I think we're pretty, we're all adults here, right? And if you are financially stable or looking to become financially stable, you should be talking to your partner on a monthly basis and working within that person's strength. So if your partner is telling you, hey, and you've seen them save and seen them progress financially and you may struggle in that area, sometimes you just have to bend to that particular will and say, you know what? Maybe to make this work in my marriage long term, I need to start listening just a tad bit. But one thing, like I said, that we do is just kind of sit down on a monthly basis. We're going over our bills, even if it's some things that I may not be strong in. I'm still hearing what he has to say, even if it's like, hey, you need to adjust this, or you need to not do this, or whatever the case may be, because that's where his strength lies. So I think that it's really putting that trust within your spouse as well, especially when it comes to finances, to find that middle ground. Does it take a while? Yeah. Is it a tough thing? Absolutely. But is your marriage more important? Is shopping or spending money and not saving more important? Or is the happiness of your significant other more important? So that's my perspective. What do you think?
Well, what I think, I'm a numbers person, right? You already know, Ash. I'm like, hold on. All
You
right,
and
so
Josh.
I'm the saver. You want to spend. This is how we're going to do this. How about we create a budget, right? We're going to create a budget as to how much we want to save, because I got to make sure I satisfy you. And you want to spend, right? You want to go shopping. You want to be happy. Okay, we're going to create you a budget for some fun money. And this is your budget. What you do with it is what you do with it. So now I get to spend, we get to save, and we happy. So I would create a budget. I'd be like, all right, this is what we got, Mr. Jenkins. Every week he would have an allowance. Since you're a spender and you just want to spend, I need you to stay in line. Okay, you got a couple of $100 every week. Whatever you do with it is what you do with it.
Mhm. Yeah, I
And
agree.
whatever is spent, he must match to drop in that account. And now we're watching it grow at the same time. So you pick your poison. How much you want a week? That's what we saving, bare minimum. I
I
don't know.
like that. No, I
That's what
like that idea. I love it. So it kind of closes the gap, right? From my portion to yours. It kind of
Mm-hmm.
says, hey, here's the foundation, and where you need to go with it. And you are Miss Numbers, and so is Josh. So I'm like, okay, all right. I hear you. But
Exactly.
it's always good to do things that like financially together, that will grow you in the right aspect, because we don't want to get to the point where we're just drowning ourselves and we're not able to compromise in that area financially. That is such a big topic in marriage, and it can actually
Mm-hmm.
make or break a marriage. I mean, let's be
Yeah.
honest, it can.
Yeah.
I don't think that we talk about it enough, but a lot of people don't realize that sometimes marriage is a lot like a business too. It is. And if you and your significant other can't really meet on that financial end, that can become a major issue. I mean, just imagine if
Yeah.
Josh was saying to me, right? Hey, I need you to do this. We need to save. We need to do this, that, and the third. And I was just not able to ever meet that need. That would be a serious problem. What do you think, Eb?
Yeah. Oh, I definitely think it'll be a problem for me. You making business decisions at my expense. Now we're in a partnership, we're in a relationship, but I got goals, you have goals, and we talk about these boundaries all
Hmm.
the time, Ash. So I'm not gonna lose myself within the compromise.
Yeah.
I'm willing to sacrifice and I'm willing to compromise, because those are two different things. But I'm not willing to lose myself in the meantime, in between time. So yeah, you can't make business decisions at my expense, and we need to discuss this and talk about this. Like you said, one key word: partnership.
Mhm. Mhm. And
Hmm.
I think for women in particular, I think this is what a big thing for us too about this conversation. What does it look like for us in totality? So my question for you, kind of off, what do you feel like? I know we've talked about it in general now, but if
Hmm.
you were thinking about your core and your marriage, what would you say is considered compromise? And just like you could just use some words. What do you feel like meets that need for you when it comes to compromise?
When I think about compromise, Ash, I think about building trust.
Mm,
I think about safety within my relationship. You know what I'm saying? I want us to be on the same page with things. I want to value his opinion. I want to feel what he want and need. I want to be into what he's into, because I want him into what I'm into. That's a
mhm,
compromise in between, because I may not be into it, but I could get into it. So when you ask me about just going into a couple of words, I think about the respect level. I want to respect this man's thoughts and opinions and how he feel, things that he may want to do or what's on his mind, some goals and things of that nature. I may not be, but that's the compromise. And I may get there with him. And that's what builds a strong relationship. So when you think about a couple of words, I think about the respect, I think about the growth. I think about just coming together. And it's not always about you, because we got a lot of people out there in these relationships where it's me, me, me. I want it my way. Oh, my wife or my husband just got to have it this way. No, I don't even have a voice. Why not? How are you built?
Mhm.
Something is being taken from you, and you wonder why you got that little hole, or why you feel away, or sometimes you looking a little sideways. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? All of that shit matters. Come on, compromise a little bit.
Yeah. And I
What's your
really
words?
I think I have to agree with you, especially with at the respect.
Yes.
It really when you said that, that really just hit me like, "Oh, wait." Because you're thinking about the word compromise and you're like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, what can I get out of this situation or what is he getting
Mm-hmm.
out of it?" But it's a little bit deeper like you said, that respect level hits a lot more different because if I'm talking about I'm not willing to make sacrifices for my husband within our relationship, do I actually respect our relationship? Because that's
Come
a
on.
huge piece of that. That sacrifice, that willingness, that want to, right? That wanting to be better, wanting to make your spouse happy, wanting to feel
Mm-hmm.
spouse to feel a sense of fulfillment. And I feel like if the bottom layer is not respect, then you're pretty much done there. And I think that if people are having a hard time with compromise, you
Mm-hmm.
should definitely route back to how do I respect my spouse? What do I actually feel and
That's what
what
I'm
you know what I'm
saying,
saying?
Ash.
Yeah,
That's
for
exactly
sure.
what I'm saying. So
Mhm.
on a spin-off, right? We talk about the healthy things when you talk
Mhm.
about compromise. What do you think about within the unhealthy portion of compromise? You remember we talked about it's a difference between the sacrifice and the compromise, but what do you think about unhealthy compromise? When does compromise become unhealthy?
I think compromise becomes healthy when it is just going back to what we said, it's not a 50-50. And I don't believe that it's always going to be a 50-50.
Mhm.
Nothing's always a 50-50.
That's right.
But if you're finding yourself being the only person or feeling, because sometimes I'm a big believer that you actually your feelings are valid. I always
Yeah.
say that. I'm like, I believe that everyone's feelings are valid. And if you're feeling like, hey, you know what? I'm not necessarily getting what I need when it comes to the compromise side. I feel like I'm giving more than I'm receiving.
Mhm.
That is when a conversation needs to be had because something is not missing. Now, we've had all these conversations in regards to what it looks like to compromise. So, is your spouse missing all those points for you? You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And that's where I land with that.
Well, I got a list of them. I got a list of them. I did some research. When compromise becomes unhealthy, this is what you need to look out for.
Mhm.
It's not compromise when one person always gives in.
That's
You
true.
always got to settle.
That is
It's
very
just
true.
always okay. It's we could just do what you want to do. If one person always has to give in to the other person, that's not compromise. When someone loses their identity, because think about it. What if you want me to go somewhere and do some things that you know I'm not into? Now you disrespecting my values, what I believe in, like what I feel internally. Just because I'm compromising to do a little bit of something that you want to do, and you may do a little something that I want to do, it still got to be that respect line as to what I'm into and what I'm not into. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm not willing to lose myself, in the process. So that was a valid point. I got another one. You're sacrificing your peace just to avoid conflict. Now, I want you to talk about that one, Ash.
Oh, yeah.
You're
So,
sacrificing your peace just to avoid conflict.
um, whoa, yeah, oh, man.
Mhm.
D Jeez,
I
how can you
know.
go with that? Man, because it feels like sometimes do you know what that truly is? Or, like, do we really know what peace looks like for us? And, because I think
Mm.
we're teetering right now, right? Because to me, if you're sacrificing your peace all the time, there's a real problem there. There's a real problem. Every single time just to keep the peace, I'm going to sacrifice. And this happens I think for men and women. It's not a one over the other. I really do believe that sometimes just to keep the peace, some people don't speak on certain things and I don't think that that is true compromise, right? So
No.
if you feel like you are never given the space or the opportunity to speak your piece and you're just trying to keep the peace by I'm going to do whatever you want to do, and there is no in between. That is not peace at all. And to me, that is when you need to start setting that boundaries up with your partner because sometimes compromise can be selfishness for some people, right? And they fall right in there. And they're like, hey, I want to do this. I want to be this way. And this is who I am. And I don't want to change, and so on and so forth. And that becomes very toxic when you're in a relationship and a person is not willing to do the necessary steps to grow with you. That is totally different and falling on a whole nother line. And I definitely feel like some people can, and we have at certain times, lost yourself in relationships when it comes to compromising with people.
Well, I believe that they forget what peace even looks like, what it even means. They've been settling so long and just giving in so much that they don't even know what that looks like. And that's when you got to take a pause and say, hold on, what's making me happy? Am I going through the motions? You know what I'm saying? Because when we
Hmm.
talk about Black Love Elevated, we talk about communication. We talk about, I say it over and over again, guys, listen, please have a voice, speak your piece, say how you feel. It might can change.
Hmm.
It might can change. And sometimes a person don't know what they don't know, Ash. They don't
Hmm.
know what they don't know. You assuming. And I'm gonna take you there. You assuming, but you know what they say about assuming? You make an ass out of you and me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Say what that is so we can have a conversation and maybe you can resolve and get your peace back. I'm just saying, I'm not willing to just shut up and allow it to happen. And I think that happens so much. And sometimes your spouse is willing. They're
Hmm.
open, but they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you this. In marriage, do you feel like there is certain things that you just will not compromise on, or certain things that you shouldn't compromise on?
Yeah, definitely. I'm the type of woman where I feel stand for something or fall for anything. And again, I say boundaries. Again, I say respect. So just because I'm willing to compromise, I'm not willing to fold.
Hmm.
So my ego, my pride, you know what I'm saying? What certain things I believe in, yeah, those things matter. And if you violate that space, then we have a different kind of conversation. So, absolutely, Ashley, to answer your question, there's definitely things that I'm not willing to compromise on. It's non negotiable.
I understand that. I understand that. And to me, it feels like, as far as when it comes to compromise, that a lot of folks don't, in relationships, it's not that we don't know how to compromise. We just typically have communication issues too. That's probably why
Hmm. Yeah.
it's such a huge thing for a lot of people. It's like, man, I don't really know how to communicate these certain things. But for me, just kind of round back around to my question, when it comes down to me compromising, or what I won't compromise from my relationship, would probably be, um, like you said, that self-respect. I'm just not willing to compromise on that. I think that that should always remain there, for yourself. When it comes to your self-respect, it always should be your guiding light through your life, and your spouse should
Hmm.
respect you enough, like we were saying earlier, for that self-respect to always be there. And if that has become to the point where you feel like, hey, you know what? I'm disrespecting myself at this point by the things that I'm doing or allowing to happen to me, and the way that things are just between us, and we losing ourselves right there. So nah, that's a no for me when it comes to
Well,
marriage.
at the end of the day, as the strongest relationships, they're not built on two people always agreeing. Sometimes you can
Hmm.
agree to disagree as long as the respect line is there. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's what makes you, you and me. I couldn't see the marriage that I have. I've been married going on 25 years now if we were both the same.
Hmm.
Think about
Hmm.
that. And at the end of the day, you tailor your style to fit someone else's needs. We're talking about your spouse. We're talking about your family. We're talking about compromising within your friends. You know what I'm saying? You can have a friendship. Compromise can mean, okay, she want to go to dinner. I want to go to the movies. How do we compromise? Okay, how about we go to dinner first and then we go to the movies?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But can we have a conversation and not feel away is what I'm saying.
I agree. I don't think that you should have to beg somebody to meet you halfway. I don't,
Hmm.
especially if you're in a relationship. You just should not have to beg someone. And to me, it is a, it's a it's big when it comes to the development side. I think you also mentioned that earlier. Like, we're trying to grow together, we're trying to do different
Yeah.
things together. If you
Yes.
can't find your space and your peace within your spouse and feeling like, hey, this person is willing to grow, they're
Yeah.
showing me that they're willing to sacrifice on a certain level and become a different type of person just for me or meet me halfway, you really don't have much. You really don't. You don't have much in your relationship.
No, you said
Mm,
that and you hit it right on the head. And I think that's what the audience needs to think about because
mhm.
we've talked about different scenarios within compromise, sacrifice, willing to fold, non
Yeah.
negotiable, all of that good jazz. But what does compromise mean to you? I love to see the comments,
Me too. Me
right?
too.
Right? But we talking about Black Love Elevated. We talked about earlier. We want to give some advice to them. So if we had to give them some bullet points, right? I want you to think about this for a second, Ash. We
Mhm.
dropping jewels. We said we dropping jewels tonight. What is some clear, crystal clear pointers as to compromising? Advice on compromising. That's what I want to say. Advice on compromising. We talked
Ah,
about this. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm
we
gonna
did.
take a
And I,
drink on that in between
yes,
while we think about that. Cause do you have a drink over there?
man, listen, I've been ripping and running. I did not
Oh
get
my
it.
God.
Listen, I'm to the minute when it came to this live. I,
So you want
we-
me to be over here fucked up after
yeah,
the segment.
it's
And
all
you
right.
gonna
I'm
be
gonna talk
looking
about
at
the
me like,
next one. Listen, I'm good. You still good. You still good.
okay,
But
all
I'm
right.
definitely gonna be having that drink on the next one for sure. Because the next one gonna be a good one. 100%.
Mm,
But no, I
well,
think the one jewel that I can give people about compromise is
mm-hmm,
your relationship. If you want it to be successful, if you want things to work, you can't look for perfection out of your spouse, but you can work towards becoming better for your spouse. And one thing that looks like is actually listening to them, hearing what they have
mm-hmm.
to say, right?
Yes.
And applying those things and understanding that the relationship is 50-50 when it comes to person. Some days you may give 80, some days they may give 20. But the thing is that's when you're lifting your spouse up. So you're still
Mm-hmm.
compromising even when that percentage is not on that 50-50. Right. So my biggest thing is to don't always look for it to be 50-50, because if that's what your goal is just to look for the 50-50, you're missing the bigger piece in relationship and also compromise, because you aren't thinking about your spouse, you're thinking about yourself. But don't forget who you are. Never forget who you are.
Mm. That was a jewel. I think they better pick that up. That was good stuff right there. I don't even know if I could I don't even know
Yes,
if
you
I got to
can.
come back behind that one. I don't know. Compromise. Advice on compromise.
Hmm.
Every compromise should feel mutual, meaning y'all need to feel good about the decision. We've talked about it. We equally agree on this decision, whether it's going to be that 60 and 40 this time or 50-50. We
Hmm.
good with it. So it needs to be mutual. I'll say that to start. It needs to be mutual, and you need not lose yourself in the process. Be open and fair, but have an opinion and stand on it. So I say, if I had to sum that up, I would say, and we need to agree on it 100%. Like, okay, this is what we're going to do. I don't want one person feeling like they just always giving in. We talked about
Hmm.
it. And then the next time, try to get that 60. You know what I'm saying? Don't keep score. But at least, you know what I'm saying? You don't feel like you always fold into some shit. Like, damn, why I always got to get the lesser half of what's going on here? I'm just saying.
I agree. I definitely agree. That's dope. That is dope.
I
Yeah, that's
mean,
so funny. That is so.
that's marriage. That's
Mhm.
competitive. You know, shit. I'm just saying. I don't know, Ash.
No, I agree. I think that you are totally right about that. I definitely do. I think that compromises it's such a huge topic, and for women and men, I think it's a little bit different. Don't you think that, Eb? Like it sometimes can be a little bit different when we talk about women and men and compromise.
I already know it's different. This is why. Come on, let's keep it a buck here. Okay, let's keep it a buck here. This is why we decided to come on first and talk about compromise. We're women. We're talking about it from a woman's perspective. But ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned. Okay, till next week, because we're gonna bring the men on. Yeah, we know it's a man side to it. Y'all done heard it from the woman's perspective. And we're gonna hear some more in the comments. But next week, we're gonna bring the men on because I'm sure you see things differently. What are some of the things that you compromise on within your marriage from a male perspective?
Yes, I am so excited about hearing from
Mm,
a man's perspective on
I'm
compromise.
scared.
I, I'm not scared. I am excited. Eb, you got to think about it. Like this is gonna give some women some insight to some things, because we
You
always
right.
talking. So it'll give us some insight to how they really
Mm-hmm.
feel about it. Because some of the
Mm-hmm.
folks that gonna be coming on the mic, they like to talk. So maybe we'll get some good words. We'll get some good
We
words.
wait, Ash. We said we getting down to the goddamn truth. Those guys coming on, they are unfiltered. We said that. They come in with how they feel. They have not been scripted. You
Nope.
understand? We have not had a chance to
No prepping.
rehearse with them and give them some etiquette. They gonna come on and give it to us. So I want to hear it. But guess what? You said some shit. It is a jewel because if you want to elevate your
Mhm.
relationship, your marriage, you got to listen to what they saying. You got to listen to what they
Facts.
saying. Come on.
Facts. It is not always about, and that's why I love our platform too, because it's not always just about what we think. And I know sometimes I
Okay.
see y'all in the comments, men talking about we one
Mm.
sided, so on and so forth. But no, we do a lot of conversation with men outside of this as well. We actually have conversation with men, see their perspectives, talk to them about
Yeah.
certain things. So a
Yeah.
lot of stuff is
Yeah.
not just us.
It's not just from the woman's side. Like I done told you
Yeah.
guys, I'm a boy mom. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I want to
Right.
make sure that we're treated equally. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It goes on both sides. And I know as a wife, I come with a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Sometimes I need to humble myself and I need to, you know what I'm saying? Like snap back, girl. Like, did you miss the assignment? And it's okay because I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. We get
No.
lost in the sauce and then we find our way back. And that's how you elevate Black love, in my opinion. Come on, we're not perfect.
Mm,
We just grow.
yeah, absolutely. And I think that what you said is very, very important. Like, I think the more and the older that I become as I become older in this
Mm-hmm.
relationship as well, I have learned how to watch myself and navigate and also be mindful about my husband and really, because that's what I'm learning within that space of compromise, what we've been talking about. So I'm learning to be very mindful about that and how I see my perspective versus seeing his perspective. So we are all open to the men coming in and joining us. We're actually excited about that. I think we've been talking about this
Yes.
for a while. So the
Yes.
excitement is there.
Come on. We cannot elevate this Black love without you. It's one
Yeah.
spouse and it's another. I don't care if it's man on woman, woman to man, woman to woman. It's two people. Well, outside of the polygamists, we
The
talked about that. I
polygamous.
mean, yes, it can be multiple, but you understand what I'm saying? I just need all parties to be on the same page. So yes, I'm definitely open to what my man has to say, how he
Ooh.
feels, and I want to make it better. Come on.
Mhm,
I'm trying to get
mhm.
to 50
I
years.
know that's
I'm trying to
right.
restart this thing.
I know that's right. That's what I said too. I love it. I love seeing a long lasting marriages and all that stuff. That
Mhm.
it just brings me so much joy. And if that's not something that you shooting for, then I don't know what you're doing it for. And it's
What you doing?
you know what though, Eb? Like I don't think that a lot of people think about that perspective either. Like that's
Mm,
what we're shooting for: longevity in our
yes.
marriages. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So it does take us laying our flaws out there and saying, "Hey, this I'm not perfect in this particular area. I need to become better." You know what I mean? Like it's a big thing for us. And having the advice and again having the conversations with our husbands, I could feel anything. I can feel away and think, but until I hear it out of his mouth, I won't know if I'm doing it right anyway. So I'm excited.
But
I'm very excited.
yeah. And girl, when you talk about getting there, getting better to get to longevity, guess what? I want to know what's going on. And not only do I want to know what's going on, watch me work. Like if my husband tell me, "Oh babe, I want you to work on this." I'm excited. I'm ready to tear that shit up. I want to do it
Come
the
on.
best now and make him so happy. Like, yeah, how you like that now? Like it's the challenge. Now I'm making him happy. I'm feeling good in the process and we better, we stronger. Like challenge. Oh, I'm not cooking that right. or I didn't massage your back right. How you like it? You like it deep? I may just watch me some Get Chat to send me a video. You know what I'm saying? How I need to do a deep tissue, and then I'm gonna do it the next time. I'm gonna say, yeah. How you like that?
You
I'm
ain't lied,
listening.
girl. You said something right there, Eb. Because the moment my husband, what's been some years when he kept saying, "Oh, you know, I'm the best cook up in here." You don't know, oh, baby, them neck bones last week tell you a little something about it. You hear me?
Yeah, yeah. He was sending you to the grocery store. Talk about something. Ooh, you gonna make that again? You try to find them things.
Right. But what, to your point, I felt like, and again, I had to get to this space where it was important for me to make sure that I'm satisfying him in that way. Like he want me to learn how to cook and do my thing and all that, because I never was a cook, girl. I couldn't even boil an egg back in the day. Girl. You hear me? Oh, honey. Or potato egg, none of it. I wasn't able, but that's his strong suit. Y'all know Josh is the cook. So yes, I'm like, nah, you know, it seems like that's his area of expertise, but he also would like that from me. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do my big one. It's too many resources out here for me not to know how to cook, honey. It's too many.
All you want is a dinner? Let me get online. I'm talking about tools, y'all. Listen to me. YouTube, Chat GPT. Girl. You know what I'm saying? Just go to Google. You know what I'm saying? You can even take a picture these days of the dish you want to make, and they'll tell you how to make it.
It ain't no more excuses about people not being able to cook. I promise you, because it's out there floating around. And everybody love a good home cooked meal, honey. You know? Exactly. You know, we can get into it. We can talk about it. And you can
elevate it. You can elevate it with a nice date night. Yes. Something so simple, because you set up your dinner table at home, put some candles on there, set the tone with the music. It's the small things that really say, wow, my wife was thinking about me. Guess what? It's one word: intentional. Be intentional about what you're doing. It could be small, it could be big, but if you think about it, it'll play out just right. Just Jules.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that that's just such a dope conversation. It brings us to why we want to have men on here too, because they may even feel like, okay, yeah, you cooking, but that ain't what I want. I want to hear from them. Yes. We can only do so much, you know what I mean? And I could try to hit the mark, but I want to hear what you got to say, men. Let's talk about it.
We already said we don't know what we don't know. So tell us, and then watch us work. Right. But don't ask for too much now. We saying that. Like, yeah, just tell us what you want. Tell us what you want. We're going to do that shit. Again, we set standards. It's certain things.
Self-respect is still there.
Standards, certain things I'm still not willing to do, but you know.
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah, but they usually are respectful anyway. But you know, before we wrap this up, you know, we didn't get a chance to talk about. We have a lot planned. First of all, I want to let everybody know we got a few. Man, we got some shit planned for y'all the next few weeks. My God, we got together. As y'all seen us on live, was it yesterday? God damn, this day has been going crazy.
I know.
We got together. We planned out the month. We got a lot to talk about. We got guests coming. It is going to be exciting. Oh my God.
Exciting. Yeah, we got some spice coming to the stage. Next week, the following week, and the week after that. So you guys got to stay tuned. This is just episode 2 of the new T.E.A Time with Eb and Ash and Eb. We just one team right here. And we want you guys to tap in because we are listening. We took yesterday, we went through comments, we went through and read all of that stuff because it's been coming in. She said, child, this thing is starting to take off. And I said, yes, they are listening to us. Hey, we just trying to elevate some Black love. We want to give advice. Nobody's perfect. It is what it is. This is just our perspective. You know what I'm saying? But definitely stay tuned. Next week, we already said it, right, Ash? The men is coming on.
Yes. Compromise part 2.
Compromise part 2. So yeah, get all your stuff together. The good, the bad, the ugly. Let's talk about it.
For sure. Y'all make sure y'all lock in on the comment section next week. For sure. Drop some. If you have questions in the meantime, use this compromise. Let's discuss compromise part 1. Go into our inbox. If there are things that as a man you would like to talk about and you would like questions asked of the men or us or whatever while our husbands are there, please drop a comment and let us know. We're going to have a great time doing everything and talking about everything. So we're really, really excited about it. Ed, what else you got, darling?
I got one more thing.
What's that?
I got one more thing. I just got to take it. I mean, we have a couple of minutes left, and we haven't jumped into the after dark. So since we still
Yeah.
talking about compromise, I mean, we just haven't talked about something that's so common and so normal. Is there compromise around sex? How does that work? Do you compromise within sex, and what does that? How does that compromise look like? What does it look like? Compromise around sex. Hmm. I want to throw
Mm,
one out there. Can I throw that
yes.
at you, Ash?
Sh- yeah, I mean, you can. You can definitely throw it out there, but I definitely want to hear what everybody in the audience have to say too. So y'all drop a comment
Mhm.
because I'm definitely going to snip that question and see what people have to say for sure.
Snip the question because we still talking about the women here. Okay. So
Yes.
this was the perspective from the women. And I'm gonna put the
Uh-huh.
question out there clearly. Do women compromise by having sex when they aren't necessarily in the mood just to maintain connection? Is that a compromise? Should they? Should they not? What are they getting in return? I don't know, but compromise, women's perspective. We want to hear it.
Yes, for sure. Thank you for that. I will clip that piece.
Mhm,
But I
mhm,
think for
mhm.
me, yeah, of course, I think that we compromise because, child, like I said before, sometimes I'm tired. I don't want to do nothing. But I gotta do what I need to do because my husband is wanting me. And the one thing that I learned is that I'm very happy that my husband is still attracted to me. And I think that's the way
Hmm.
that I look at it too. He's very much
Okay.
so still attracted to me. So that makes me want to give a little bit more. There are times where I'm like, oh shit, but it's not in a bad way. It's always because of life, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that's just it. But hell yeah, I compromise. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But he
but
still
that
want me
that
though.
that was so great, Ash. I mean, I don't know if these other women out here or even men is thinking about it like that. Like we coming at you because we still into you, we still loving on you, we still like, damn, motherfucker's fine. Like,
As a
okay, I'm
motherfucker.
gonna make my move tonight. So I get that, but I do also understand within compromise. Sometimes you're not in the mood and you got to go ahead and pull that off. But again, since they say we don't pull it for the man's side, what about when you wake up and he dead sleep and you ready for it? And because men typically, like whether they up or not, it seems like they're up. I'll say that. It's like, but they sleeping. You like shit. I'm ready for that. They can't turn you down. Like, come on, I did that for you. Like, wake it on up. Matter of
Yep.
fact, because you're still awake in many different areas, I can just handle this. So that's a compromise.
It is, and I catch an attitude if he don't. If he
Like, what?
excuse me, yeah. I mean, I'm just being real. You feel me? As a woman, I am not interested in being turned down. Like, are you fucking serious?
Girl, like,
I
so you is that a hard no? Like, you really gonna say you're not in the mood? Like,
Yeah,
girl.
like what? I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that. I'm like, no, I will catch a whole
Okay, so
attitude,
that's
and that's
another
wrong.
Jew that you dropping. Listen, men. Okay, do not turn your wife down. If they coming, if they giving you that attention because they want some special attention, give it. Okay,
Please,
shit.
please.
Food
Eh,
might not taste the same. Your clothes might not be washed the same. I'm just saying, don't say no. Come on.
No, no, no. I don't think most women feel that way. We like what, like But sometimes I think men can sometimes play that little bit of role, try to get you back a
Hmm.
little bit because you just said no. It's like
Oh, oh.
they'll
Now
try
that
to
ain't
get you
right.
back. They'll try to get you back, honey. They'll try to get you back real good. They're like, okay, you want to
Yeah,
play with
that should
me?
have
I
caused
got
a
something
whole
for you,
argument. Like,
girl.
oh, so that's how we doing it. Oh, so where have I and you have ever had a whole argument around sex and why you ain't did it and what didn't happen? It's like, yeah, we having a whole conversation about this. Yeah,
Yeah, of course,
yeah.
of
Just
course.
don't turn your wife down. That's all I'm gonna say. That's the Jew. We said we dropping Jews.
nah, nah, definitely not. Definitely. I think, but for you, I think for me, the compromise too is definitely when I don't want to do it. But outside of that, I don't really know. He ain't really asked me nothing, super crazy that's been out the
The
way.
compromise for me. What about them positions? I think those is compromises.
You think
They
so?
want it. Yeah, sometimes they want it in a way that, like when you tried it that way, maybe it don't feel good for you as much as it feels good for him in that position. but he likes it and he wants it in that moment. So what you gonna do? You just take the feel good that you can. That's you getting a little bit and him still getting a little bit, right? We talked about that.
That
But you
depends.
don't.
I'll be honest. It depends. If that shit hurt, buy a move. but if it's like something I can deal with, cool. But if it's hurting, hell nah. That goes back to not disrespecting yourself.
Okay.
If that shit hurt,
understand that. I take that. I mean, that's real shit. Like, hold on, brother. Like that hurt. Like, stop. Hey.
Girl, especially that leg ain't been stretched.
And they keep going because they so excited.
Right.
What? Listen. Girl, that is a compromise. And sometimes we said communicate in the moment. Darling, stop. Don't wait and then later on be talking about why you did me like that. No, stop that right then and there.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, like with me, my thing is one, to get them stretches in, honey. Because if I ain't stretching good, I'm gonna tell you, put that damn leg down. All right, that knee popping. Like, put that leg down. Put it down.
You got to go stretch it out first. You got to go stretch it out.
You got to do your stretch. You better. See, I'm crazy with it. You know, we like to have fun. I like to have fun. Let me be quiet before he come pop me on my forehead again.
Girl, that's why your motherfucker be catching them Charlie horses. You ain't stretched good.
Exactly.
That's why. All right. So next time I'm gonna say, hold on, babe. Go on and give me 2 squats. You know what I'm saying? Give me 2 push-ups. Give me them arms to the left.
Listen, if it's the Charlie horse, you got to get you some electrolytes. Have them some electrolytes in the bottled water. Get them going. Because Josh be
eat this banana, all that shit. We're gonna get in front of all of that shit.
Exactly. I ain't gonna lie, my shit be popping too. I be like, God damn, put this knee down. This right one. This
God. Well, that's the final jewel for tonight. So the final jewel within compromise of sex is sometimes you got to give a little to get a little later. But ultimately the feel good is your man still wants you. Why not give it to him? Come on, he's still into you. And stretch. Stretch.
Electrolytes.
Stretch. Get your electrolytes. Yes. Hey, we said we dropping jewels. So to the next episode, Ash, please close us out.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank y'all so much for joining us on another episode of T.E.A Time with Ebony and Ashley. We are so excited about our social medias. Y'all, make sure y'all go in and check out our social medias. We are on Facebook, YouTube, X, which is previously Twitter, and a slew Instagram, TikTok. Oh my God, y'all forgot we're on TikTok now. Y'all been asking, we're there. So check us out on all the social media platforms. And again, make sure that you guys hit us up. And also make sure if you are in Georgia, join the Black Love Elevated Georgia group, because we still have events. Speaking of, before we wrap up, we do have an event coming.
Yes, we doing the color party turn up.
Is going down
around the color party. Yes, stay tuned. Get on the website. On our page, we're gonna drop some information. We're gonna choose colors. We're gonna have the whole theme. It's gonna be a different kind of color party, but we turning that thing up. So stay tuned to that one.
Yes, thank y'all so much for joining us again. We appreciate y'all. We are out. Bye. Girl, let's see what we got going on here. I mean, you don't want to end. It say they don't want to end us, child. They said, go ahead and stay a little bit longer. Y'all can stay a little bit longer with us.
A little bit longer.